Hello viewers, new and old. I'm Rodders and this is the Racing News, a show that gives you everything that's happened in the last 2 weeks in the world of racing. So, let's kick it up a nickel and crack on. We're going to kick this episode off with a horse called Hip Hop Conti. Now, for those of you who don't know a lot about cross-country chasing in France, I'm going to enlighten you and educate you during this little clip. Now, in France, they have their own championship for cross-country racing, same like we do with bumpers, novice hurdles, and chasing itself. Hip Hop Conti is currently at the top of that tree, and he got there by beating their previous champion, who went by the name of Saint Godefroy. Anytime you see this fellow in a cross-country chase at Pau, you do well not to back against him, because he is extremely lethal around this racetrack. He hurdles banks. I've never seen a horse hurdle banks before. It's outrageous.
And really giving it a go here, but Hip Hop Conti still has the lead as they turn in with one more to jump. And it's Hip Hop Conti, the red jacket, Shawinigan on the near side. Hip Hop Conti into it, Shawinigan battles away near side behind those Gravity Blues booked for third. Hip Hop Conti still just about in front, but has to be driven out, but is doing enough, and Hip Hop Conti is going to make it 4 in a row. Hip Hop Conti, the winner from Shawinigan.
Idaho Sun beat My Daddy Paddy in a Formby Novices Hurdle up at Aintree on Boxing Day. What I will say, it was a very enterprising ride from the front from Brian Carver. He set the correct fractions, and he knew that My Daddy Paddy would be coming from the rear. Now, My Daddy Paddy gave away 6 lengths at the start. I don't know why Harry Skelton was doing that. He just literally let them have 6 lengths for free. Add that to the fact that they took 4 hurdles out of this race, and My Daddy Paddy usually makes between 2 and 3 lengths at every hurdle. That is an aggregate of 14 lengths that he lost in this race. And as you can see at the finish, he did not lose by 14 lengths at its conclusion. If he had won by 10 lengths in this race, what price would he be now for the Supreme Novices? If there was ever a Christmas present given to National Hunt Racing fans, it was surely this. Sergino coming back from near enough death. And there's no joke about that. He was extremely close to that. And we are all glad to see him back in action. And even more glad to see that he could return back to action in the same sort of shape as he left. This was a joy to behold, trust me. And he will get better than this. Golden Ace got within a few lengths of him. Don't worry about that. He was only about 75-80% fit. He will come on a mountain for this run. If you want to know what I think of his champion hurdle chances, watch our ante-post focus. One horse that was enjoying himself over the Christmas period was Kit's Bull. Please sir, may I have another was the theme of this race. He jumped every fence like it was just a schooling session at home. He was a joy to watch. He will undoubtedly be back here for the King George next year. As Willie said, he is already their #1 candidate. Whether he's good enough to actually win it is another matter, but he was impressive in this race.
Final furlong, Kit's Bull and Paul Townend. Here's the final fence. Kit's Bull is at it. Another spectacular lead by him. In second, Thomas Moore, Wendigo and Salva. He has jumped for fun. He has jumped them into submission. Kit's Bull has won the Ladbrokes Cornerstone.
This has to be the best King George finish I have ever witnessed. 3 horses going down to the death, firing their last salvos, followed by Django Bay, who was quickly closing. I'll tell you what, flat racing might have all the money in the world, but money can't buy you an atmosphere, and that is the difference between National Hunt Racing and flat racing. This was terrific.
Banbridge, the reigning champion with every chance. Django Bay right on the outside. Still a length between the leading 4 in the King George. Over the final fence. Banbridge a nose in front. Galen Warrior to the inside. The jukebox man racing up towards the line in a head-bobbing finish in the centre of the jukebox man.
Ballyfad got the better of the Willie Mullins-trained Leader Dallier. If you look at Leader Dallier's form, he won a Grade 3 bumper in France. Now that French form is a bit hooky, and that's the reason why I didn't fancy him in this race. This was a mighty good performance from Ballyfad though. He jumps like an absolute stag. And I don't know whether he'll go for the Supreme Novices or the Neptune, or whatever they call it nowadays. but he's certainly an exciting one.
As Ballyfat preserves his unbeaten record for Gordon Elliott.
Tears were in full flow after this race, and I can perfectly understand why. There are things you need to do to win a race. 1, you need to travel up to the leaders. 2, you need to pass them. And 3, you need to jump, and he was very unlucky here. I think this is one of the most unluckiest falls I've seen over hurdles. And then Dr. Demenil tried to gate crash the whole party. He's not a 2-miler. This was over 2 miles, and it was the weirdest entry I've seen from the Mullins Yard. For those of you who have seen our exciting French recruits for the Willie Mullins Yard video, this was the last horse in that video, Narciso Has. Now, he got beat first time up by Monge too, but that's no disgrace because she's a rip-roaring mare in herself. He did improve his hurdling technique in this race, but as I said in that Willie Mullins French recruits video, he is very much a chaser for the future.
Stages of the changing times, Brody Juvenile Hurdle. It's been a day of seesawing fortunes for Danny and Willie Mullins.
Romeo Coolio proved that he's not a 2-miler in any way, shape or form, but he did prove something else in this race. When you got to get down and dirty, he certainly has the goods for that. He put up a remarkable performance to get back up when he looked in trouble from a fair way out.
They're racing well inside the final half furlong. Irish Panther, Romeo Coolio on the line at the racing.
Another one to come from the Narciso Has video is this gelding Bertutea. Now, Willie Mullins bought Bertutea after a nice couple of runs in France. And if you want to know what I thought of him at the time, go and watch the Willie Mullins French recruits video. It's got 8,000 views already, and it is the most popular video on this channel.
Down to the final flight is Bertutea, who's out in front and gone on by 2 to 3 lengths off the last. Bertutea fluent over it from in second place, Crooked Bass, slightly awkward, but it's Bertutea going to get the Limerick Festival off to a winning start for Willie Mullins. Sean O'Keefe on board. Bertutea wins by about 6 to 8 lengths in the end from the second.
Maestro Conti is a horse I've always liked, ever since I've seen him win his hurdling debut over in France, pulling a bus. He made this introductory juvenile hurdle look like utter child's play, and he's a seriously exciting horse going forwards.
Picked up well from Brave Guest and Tetsworth, and then Zaraka Jack in 4th position between the final 2 flights of hurdles. Now Skelton says go, and Maestro Conti is stretching off and away. Has gone clear by 5 at the last and up and over. Brave Guest in second, Tetsworth untidy back in 3rd place, and Maestro Conti ever so straightforward is careering to victory. Maestro Conti, perfect start for Team Skelton.
A 1, a 2, a 3, 4, 5. Sing along. It certainly was Mambo number 5, and this was a nice performance by Ben Paulin's horse. He cost a king's ransom over in France as a juvenile, where he run up against some very smart types indeed. But it looks like he's taken to chasing like a duck takes to water extremely well.
And takes it just in front. Mambo number 5 from Mirabad. Hansard in 3rd. Lump Sum not laying a glove on these today. Down to the last. Mambo number 5 now tries to kick on. Has gone clear by 3 at the last. Mambo number 5. A soaring leap, and it's clear. 5-6 lengths the advantage from Mirabad and Hansard, who are fighting out 2nd and 3rd. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Mambo number 5.
Here's a question, viewers. What was the last thing you bought for £11,000 that netted you over £100,000? Well, the answer for the Skeltons would be this fellow. This'll ask. He has risen from very, very low ranks to take at least 2 or 3 good prizes along the way. And it doesn't look like he's going to stop yet. They're going to aim him at the Champion Chase. And if he wins the Champion Chase, what a rags to riches story that would be.
Brushing through it, Thistle Ask is down towards the 12th and final fence. Thistle Ask steadies in tight, but over. Thistle Ask ripped the race apart down the back straight, and nothing could live with. Thistle Ask, oh, he's ever so progressive. This time, it's the Ladbrokes Desert Orchid.
If you are watching our top 10 exciting novice hurdlers video, then you'll be very familiar with this chap, Mossy Fen Road. He was winning a bumper up at Wetherby in our preview for the season, and I said there that he would be a very exciting horse indeed, and he's proven to be. He's 2 from 2 over hurdles now, but he's built like a chaser, and next season when he goes over fences, my God, cold showers galore for me.
And now is coming home to a clear-cut victory. Backed really strongly before the race. It's now 2 out of 2 over hurdles for Mossy Fen Road.
Rebecca Curtis, she is lovely, isn't she? She is really, really lovely. Onto the horses, sorry. Horticolor is now a dual Grand National winner. The supermodel, as I'm now going to call her, has the idea of putting Horticolor into the Gold Cup, while I have as much chance of getting a date with Rebecca Curtis as Horticolor winning the Gold Cup. But that doesn't stop me wishing her all the best with her dreams. Now, personally, I think he's a Grand National horse. He shapes like a Grand National horse. He runs like a Grand National horse. He does not run like a graded animal. And that is the big difference between Grand National horses and Gold Cup horses.
Lead of only 2 lengths again over deafening silence. O'Connell has stayed on into third, living on Luco. Dom of Mary now tries to rally, and then Monbeg Genius, but it is Aging Couleur down into the dip. A furlong and a half to go. The Welshman Sean Bowen has the lead on Aging Couleur as they race down now towards the last. Aging Couleur over O'Connell, who's now trying to gather him in. Back in third is deafening silence. Aging Couleur still has the lead. Is all out for the lead is a length and a half over O'Connell in second and racing up towards the line. It is Aging Couleur who has won the Coral Welsh Grand National.
If there was any bit of furniture in the O'Connell household that was left intact after this howler, then I want to see the evidence, because I don't believe that he hasn't smashed everything up after this. Now, Sean Flanagan actually went one way and Marine National went the other way. It wasn't so much of a mistake rather than a miscommunication between horse and jockey. And the margin he loses by tells you obviously that he would have won this race. Now, YouTube told me off last time for my incendiary criticism of Masborough, but I'm one never to be defeated, so I'm going to reiterate it. He is fucking useless.
Between them, followed by Founder 50. Inside the final 200 yards, it's a cracker. Solness from Marine National and Masborough up towards the finish. It is Solness. Solness from Marine National. Solness has done it again.
If you've been watching the previous episodes of the Racing News, you will know that I have talked the talk, and he came here to win this race. I said he looked like a giraffe, but I said he had a load of ability. And I'd say that was a fair assessment, because he'd have won this race by about 3 or 4 lengths, and Skylight Hustle would have got nowhere near him. Le Deviant Font, all I have to say about him is, I told you so.
It is Skylight Hustle, fortuitously so. It is Skylight Hustle, a Christmas box like no other for Jack Kennedy.
Serious question, viewers. Why does everyone rate Jade de Grugy highly? I've never rated her at all. I think she's a mediocre mare, really. Moving on to the big Westerner, she did put in a nice performance here. She needs further than this, and this was just a bare minimum for her. She came under pressure from the second last here, running down to the last, gets in a good jump, and then gets away from Jade de Grugy. If you see her in a novice chase at 3 miles, I'd be on her side.
Responding well and going on in the closing stages, race up towards the line. It's a Grade 2 double in consecutive years at Limerick for the big Westerner who wins by 3 from Jade de Grugy at second. You have me in Stitches third, far from nowhere 4, clear of Honeycomb Quick.
Before I talk about Tahipu, I'm going to talk about Ballyburn. Now, when they ran in Hatton's Grace, I said that Ballyburn was the most promising of these two. Unlike other channels, I will admit when I'm wrong. Other channels try and go round the houses to prove they're right. I was entirely wrong about Ballyburn. He has no hope in the Stayers Hurdle. He's not a 3-miler and any one stretch of the imagination. In fact, he didn't even want to go into the parade ring when they tried 4 times to get him in. He's just a bafflement, isn't he? Absolute bafflement. If you want to know what I think of Tahipu, watch our anti-post focus for the Stayers Hurdle.
Another great one for Jack Kennedy and Gordon.
Affordale Fury took down the big dog at his home ground. Galopin de Champs did take the running up briefly over the last fence, but a lack of a recent run took its toll towards the end and he got tired. William Mullen said he was ecstatic with the run, and I agree with him because this horse always needs his first run back. It will be a very different story when he comes back here in about 3 weeks' time, though.
Grange Clare West, Affordale Fury from Galopin de Champs, and on the near side is Aya Maximus. Affordale Fury keeps Sam Ewing on cloud 9. Affordale Fury.
Now, little do you viewers know, I actually have an inside joke with my little brother. He's a disabled horse racing fan, and he's one of the reasons why I actually do this channel. Now, the inside joke is that every time Final Demand runs, I put on my finest Jeremy Clarkson voice and say, the best horse in the world. So, viewers, is he the best horse in the world?
Last Final Demand just shortens into it, lands 3 lengths in front of Gold Answer second, Western Walk back in third, and racing inside the final 150 yards. Final Demand, easing clear, strolling the park for the long odds on favourite. Remains unbeaten in 2 starts over fences. Final demand the winner.
The Paul Nicholls interview I had at the start of this season was very much one with an undercurrent of where he was scrabbling round for new horses and trying to find the next big superstar to be in his yard. In Manila Yoga, he spent an awful sum of money. I think it was somewhere in the region of 350,000 plus. And Poetic Justice was served because he beat a horse who was previously in his yard last year. That was before the owners removed all of their horses. And if you're watching, Paul, I just want to say Happy New Year to you. I didn't text you because I didn't want to bother you, but you are a top class bloke and I hope you have a fantastic new year.
Has his measure and goes on to win. Promising run.
Continuing it on with the theme of the top man's yard, no drama this end, made his first foray into Grade 1 company, and I'm glad to say that he passed with flying colours. If you want to know what I think about his chances in the Turner's Novices Hurdle at the Cheltenham Festival, tune into our Turner's Novice Hurdle ante-post focus special. Trust me, you won't want to miss this one, folks.
Over ahead of Tip Top Tim and Clint Madrick, who might be the last to challenge. No drama this end, now shaken up by Harry Cobden, and he begins to quicken up pretty nicely. Half a furlong left to go. No drama this end, in control in the Challow, and is unbeaten in 3 now. No drama this end, wins a 7th Challow.
Now tell me, viewers, was I the only one that recoiled in horror as Spindlebury belted a fence on the far side of the track? I really did think for half a second she was going down, and I was on with lock, stock and barrels. I really was all over her in this race because I thought she was the best mare in the race. It proved to be, but sometimes National Hunt Racing does give you a fright along the way, and this was very much one of those cases.
Just jumps into the lead over Telepathy, Pagan and Fun. They're now racing inside the final quarter mile. Just a one more plain fence to take, and it's Danny Mullins and Spindlebury who take the lead. They go on now as they eye up the final fence. It's Spindlebury, couldn't see a stride. She's over safely, however, clear by 3 lengths to Telepathique in second, then Pagan back in third, and now there's over half a furlong to go on the flat, and it is Spindlebury for Willie Mullins and for Danny Mullins, and she's now going to be a perfect 5 out of 5 over fences and the Yorkshire Silver Vase.
10 starts, 9 wins is the record for this little lady, and she even did it with her back hooves tied. Now, she's definitely not going for the champion hurdle. She'll definitely go for the mayor's hurdle at the Cheltenham Festival. And find out what I think of her in our anti-post focus preview for the mayor's hurdle. Will be coming up soon enough.
From Dream On Baby and 6.5, and Wadu leads now, and she's lengthening her stride as they run up towards the finish. Wadu is a diamond as she wins the Killymount Mares.
Speaking of ladies, this lady certainly is in the hearts of most National Hunt Racing fans. This was her 9th Grade 1. That's quite a remarkable record. And she's been going since she was a 3-year-old. She'll probably retire at 8 or 9. That's plenty more time to get plenty more Grade 1s on the board. But will she be going for the champion hurdle, or will she be going for the mayor's hurdle? Because the remarks from Paul Townend afterwards were quite murky.
Lossymouth from Brighter Days ahead on the inside. Lossymouth is going to see it out. Lossymouth.
Keep Him Company gets an honourable mention here because he is a 3-mile point-to-point winner who's managed to win a 2-mile bumper. If you're looking for a horse for the Albert Bartlett in 2027, keep this fella in the back of your mind because I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Inside the final furlong, and Keep Him Company with a wet sail under Josh Williamson are going on from passenger as Keep Him Company concludes an extraordinary 4 days for Gordon Elliott.
Anyone that didn't shed a tear about this is just a stone-hearted bastard because Al Fabiolo was once considered the very best horse in training. He's had his problems and he's had his issues, formerly with jumping fences. The plan is to keep him over hurdles, and I hope that is the plan indefinitely because this horse deserves to go out in his racing career on a high.
Dad is going to make all in the tote New Year's Eve hurdle for Danny and Willie Mullins.
The New Year's Day chase was taken by Hartwood this year at Tremor. Usually this is reserved for one of Willie Mullins' Gold Cup horses or something similar, but this year he didn't bother to send anything of that calibre. He did send Champ Kylie, but in saying that, I think that tells you all you need to know.
Antique second, back in third is Croke Park. Over the last, Hartwood clear by 5 or 6, Elite Antique second, and going to the line, Hartwood will win the O'Driscoll's Irish Whiskey.
Dino Blue took a Grade 3 chase here. It was a pretty desperate affair though, to be honest. Now Dino Blue is a 2-miler, 2.5-miler at a push. This is over 2 miles 6. And I get the feeling what you're about to see here is because she is tiring. This isn't actually the first time she's done this to a fence either. She's done this about 2 or 3 times before. She gets down to this fence and she just doesn't take off. She half just bulldozes it. Now, from this angle, it looks like Mark Walsh had it under control. But you want to see the other angle. She was very lucky to stay up.
Decided was scared there as Dino blew. Lost little momentum. And
Cabral de Mathan took the jump up in grade to grade 2 when he won the rail kill hurdle here. Although I will say, my heart was in my mouth halfway round when he decided to take a hurdle home with him. Don't expect to see this horse in the stairs hurdle because he's going to swerve it. He's going to the National Spirit at Fontwell and then possibly having a tilt at Aintree. It's a shame, but I do understand where the Skeltons are coming from because next season this horse could be a real ripper at 3 miles.
Cabral de Mathan sealed this in a matter of strides. The rail kill hurdle goes to Cabral de Mathan for the Skeltons, an easy winner.
I really like this performance from Solly's Gold. I seen him win at Weatherby in a bumper, and he got a little bit of trouble there. He navigated to the outside and then powered past them and powered away from them. This race, he travelled extremely well. There was never a point where you thought, oh, he's coming off the bridle here, until he reached the straight. And then when that happened, he managed to pick up nicely. He's a gigantic horse, and when he goes over a fence, let alone a hurdle, he'll really come into his own. This was a listed junior bumper. It was quite well done, though.
From Garincha taking second from Bailey's Comet, but Solly's Gold has the advantage running up towards the line under Sean Bowen. Solly's Gold wins the bumper.
One of my favourite horses made his hurdles debut this week, and I call him the Rev. The Reverend made a perfect hurdles debut for the Willie Mullins team. We gave you the information that the Reverend was joining Willie Mullins in an earlier episode of the Racing News, and this is the difference between this channel and other racing channels on YouTube. We will give you the information well before time, and it's up to you if you want to use it. Now, do bear in mind the Rev is a softer heavy ground specialist, and he was a 1 and 6 winner on the flat, so you're probably going to be looking at something like the Albert Bartlett if he's going to the Cheltenham Festival. Don't back this horse on good ground, though. It will end in tears.
By Max Ford, but racing up towards the lines, the opening winner for Willie Mullins and Paul Town as the Reverend scores.
Extremely Zane put in one of the best debut performances I've seen in a little while. This was over 6 furlongs. He was drawn on the wrong side of the track at Newcastle as well. Normally, you need to be over this side to have any chance of winning. And he navigated his way over to this side, which proves that this horse has a little bit of ability. He's not just going to start being rode along from 3 out. He's quite tractable. You can just move him around in a race. That's a sign of a good horse. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why are you showing us flat racing in a jumps racing episode? Well, we've come to our senses and we've decided that we're going to keep all flat racing until the end of the Racing News episodes. We could call it something like Flat Rats. Who knows? We might do, we might not. Tell us what you think of the idea and this performance.
A furlong and a half left to go. Starry Field has quickened on, but here comes Extremely Zane, the newcomer for Kieran Fallon, and that one is really stretching. Entering the final furlong, and quite impressively, Extremely Zane has gone clear in a matter of strides. Starry Field in second place, 1 pace. Nice performance. Extremely Zane, the winner.
The Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile winner, Nice Sauce, stretched his legs the other day, but he only just got away with this. The margin was closing extremely quickly at the finish. This tees him up and his stablemate Nevada Beach for a tilt at the Saudi Cup.
Stablemates come past the 16th pole together. Nice House and Nevada Beach and a Lafitte Pink Guy Junior Thriller. And Nice House knows where the wire is.
Thank you very much for watching this video to the end. Now, as you might know or not know, we have a personal ambition on this channel to reach 25,000 subscribers by January the 1st, 2027. So if you want to help us out, click the like and subscribe button at the bottom of this video and we can have a fantastic 2026 together. Thank you for everyone that has supported this channel since it started. It has been an enormous success and I hope that we can continue to bring you fantastic content. I'm Rodders, this is On The Bridle. Until next time, stay safe.